You can see BTC. I've been projecting BTC to 80k, and I was even looking at BTC to go all the way to the support, which is like 75k, which BTC could still go. But just like we know how price actually moves, price moves in the form of a wave, so we could most likely have a pullback back to the 99, between the 98 to 99k, or between the 98 to 100k pullback, like a buy. Okay, like more like a buy to sell scenarios. Okay,
hey peeps, FX right here. Welcome back to our usual weekly market forecast. This is our usual weekly market forecast for the week of the 2nd to the 6th of February. So once again, happy new month, guys. So this is the second trading week and month of the year, so we are already in the month of February and we are progressing. Okay, so if this is your first time, please do to smash that subscribe button, turn on post notifications, and we always come on here week in week out to project 500 to 1,000 pips into the future. So without further ado, let's dive into the business of the day. So we are getting started with BTC. So for BTC last week, we have BTC for the longest for some months now, for the whole of January has been very super bearish. Okay, one of it is most of the bearishness in which we have taken in between. Some were sent as signals and some were also called as projections, which most you guys have seen how we were able to predict these things into precision, and we are able to use them into as for our trading advantage. Okay, so moving forward, so on the monthly time frame, is always important that you check how the previous month closed, so you can have a better perspective of the candle closure for the previous month. So we can see the previous month here on BTC closed with this candle here, and price is somewhere around this support, okay, in which price has been reacting several times. So we could have a little bit of pullbacks for the coming week. Okay, so let's check the monthly time frame, the weekly time frame rather. So there's not so much information on the weekly time frame. Looking at where price currently is, there's not so much information. So we go to the daily time frame. Due to how price has been super volatile on BTC, we can also see that we have been projecting BTC, and I called BTC all the way to the 95k, which is where price currently rejected from and started pulling back to the upsides again. So these are the reasons why you guys call me the prophetic analyst, and you have seen us do these things live into precision. And I made this call since like 2 months or 3 months ago, which
already happened here. Okay, it's coming, is building up the pullbacks, so we are expecting more pullbacks. Okay, more like a bullish pullback back to the zones of the 92k. okay, it could go to 92k, or it could go as deep as the 95k. So between the 95k and the 91k levels, which are the zones, okay, we could have price get into those zones before, like a buy to sell scenarios. Okay, then we target our first level, which is always 100% retracement level, which is the 80k. Then we can go as deep as our 75k. okay, so we have
still been consistent moving forward on the directional bias of BTC. So what we were having at the time were just pullbacks. Okay, we're just pullbacks during the month of November, December. Okay, so during the month of the early weeks of January, we started having these bearish projections, which price has been bearish thereafter. Okay, even this current zone here in which price is, I still call this live on our general community, on our free Telegram community, when we were having a free live session. So if you are not on our free Telegram community, make sure you click on the link on the description to join. Okay, so moving forward, without taking much of your time, we have checked the weekly time frame and the monthly, so we are now on the daily time frame. So easy busy, nothing so much. Okay, so all what we need to see, we have 2 zones right about here. I may take this out and I would use a rectangle. Okay, I prefer to use a rectangle. All right, so I'm going to use a rectangle here. So we are looking for price. Let's make use of these zones here. So we have this first level, which is this blue bar there. Okay, let me use another line to represent that. Okay, so we have two zones here, but I don't really see price reacting from here. Okay, so we have two zones here. First zones is our 80k, and the second zones is our 84k. Okay, between the 84 and 85k. So what do we want to see price do? Price, where price currently is a very strong support. Okay, so all what we need to see price is to give us a pullback, okay, into the zones of the 80k. Then we can have price drop back to 90 or back to 73k, or we could have price go as deep as our 84k. Okay, so that, what does that mean? We are going to have more like a bullish pullback before price enters these zones of between the 95 and the 94k. Then we could trail ourselves all the way back to our 94k. Okay, all the way to the downside. So that's it for BTC. BTC is still very much bearish. These are the best two zones you're taking your trade calls from. If you are my mentees, you know the entry possibilities or the entry confirmations, in which if price comes to these areas, you know how well to take your trade calls from there. Okay, so up next is gold. So gold for the longest has been super bullish. Like I always say, these are the reasons. Okay, like I always say, price always moves in a wave. I always tell you guys, price moves in a wave, okay, not in a straight line. So most people may be caught on the euphoria of buying gold for the longest and thinking gold will be forever buying. Okay, price moves in a wave. It doesn't take out the fact that price would create some series of highs and lows and highs and lows in across all time frames. Okay, so I think on Friday price gave us this massive bearish candle. Okay, although it was more like a 2 days of bearishness, and this is a very big cause for concern. Why is this so? Looking at how price closed for Thursday with this doji candle, which is like an indecision reversal candle, and looking at the next candle that comes thereafter is a bearish engulfing candle, very massive one, a very massive one at that. So we are still very much bearish on XAUUSD, which is gold. So all what we need to see, let's go to a 4-hour time frame in this case. All right, so all what we need to see, I'm going to take out some of these lines. All right, so all what we need to see, we could see some pullbacks. Okay, price to give us some more deeper pullbacks into these zones. I think I have to align my zones a little bit. Let me bring this down. All right, let me take this out. Let me extend it like so. All right, better. So all what we need to see is price to give us more like a buy, maybe 2 days of bullishness or a week of bullishness, that we don't know, but I would prefer these bearish continuations from here. Okay, price coming back to the 5060, between the 5060 to the 5100, and price going down once again. So what do we expect in the coming week or the coming months is price to give us more like a buy to sell scenarios. Okay, mind you, let's check the monthly time frame. Price is still very much bullish. All right, regardless, we would have price change directional bias at a time to trading bearish. Okay, but for any reason price would clear the 5,100 ounce, okay, we could now look for a nice break retest, and we should know that gold is going till infinity. Okay, so that's it for gold, and up next is the DXY. So for the DXY, for the longest, DXY has been super bearish since the beginning of the year. Okay, this is why I always say we should be looking keenly on how price opens or how price moves. Why is this so? Because price likes changing its directional bias mostly on a new month or a new year. Okay, so that's what we have been experiencing since the new year of 2026, and for the month of January. Okay, we have been having this massive bearishness on the DXY. So what does this mean? So since price has been super bearish, or the dollar has been weak, okay, we now have volatility, or and we now have strength. Price has been bullish on the opposite pairs like Euro USD, GBP USD, gold, BTC, and the rest. Okay, so let's go to the monthly time frame to check how last month actually closed. It's always important you check how the previous month closed. So we can see we have had 3 months of bearishness since November, December, and January. Okay, mind you, on the monthly time frame, no matter how small or big a particular candle is, it actually took 30 days or 31 days or 1 full month for price to open and close. Okay, so this is how last week closed with this indecision candle. So we go to the weekly time frame. Weekly time frame actually gives us a cause for concern. Why is this so? Looking left, these guys here, price gave us like this hammer candle. Price closed with this hammer candle right about here, right? We can see right about here, almost same candle with this one. Okay, so this is more like an indecision candle, or a candle which signifies reversals. And this could this also be a triple bottom, right, on the weekly time frame? That we can't tell. Okay, that we can't tell. So what do we do in this case? Okay, for me, I'm still very much bearish. I would only look for bullishness if price has cleared these zones of the 97 point, okay, of the 97 point or the $97 area. Okay, so this candle closing for last week, all right, it's a cause for concern. And where is it happening? On the previous support. Okay, so let's go to our daily time frame to look for the best possible areas in which we can take these trades calls from. Okay, so looking at the daily time on the daily time frame here, we already had some few days of bullishness on the DXY. All right, so looking left, we can see the DXY has a previous support in which price has been reacting in previous times. Okay, so this is still the same zone in which we hopefully price would come into these zones before the bearish continuations. But like you guys know, I would give you guys 2 zones due to our strategy. There are most likely 2 zones in which like price always like reacting from. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to give you guys the first zone and the second zone. So the first zone is between our 97k, okay, 96-97k, and we have a second zone between the 97.401 and the 97.504. Okay, so all what we need to see for the coming week or coming month is price to first level first, a pullback more like a buy into this area, and a bearish continuations back to the 100% retracement level, which is the $95 or the 95 point, all the way to the support. And price could even go as deep as the 97 point, right, the 97.400, okay, which is these zones, which matches with this area of interest looking left. Okay, so price could go as deep as the 97.400 before we could now take our bearishness all the way to the downside. Okay, so these 2 zones are the best possible areas in which we can be taking our trade continuations, bearish trade continuations, because we are still very much bearish. Okay, until price breaks either of these 2 highs, that is when I would be looking for bullishness. But for now, we are still very much bearish on the DXY. Up next is the Euro USD. So for Euro USD, for last week or for the longest, Euro USD has been super bullish. Okay, but last week we had more of bearishness on price, in which the opposite is what's reflected on the DXY. So let's see how last month closed, and how we can use this information to our advantage. So we can see last month closed with this indecision candle here right about there, and where is this happening? On a previous resistance. Okay, so let's go to our weekly time frame to see where price is. Nothing much, but there is a very nice candle close, guys. There's a very nice candle close on the weekly time frame. You can see this shooting star, the hammer candle there. Very nice candle close on the weekly time frame. So what could this be? Let's look at the daily time frame. So what I'm going to do right about now on the daily time frame is to expand these zones like so. Alright, so I'm going to expand this. I'm going to expand this too. All right, so it looks, price actually looks cleaner from here on the daily time frame, all right, than for me to go to the hourly time frame. So for where price currently is, this is also a very nice sales in which I sent on our last free live session, in which I hosted on the general community. I used to host at least once or twice free live sessions on the general community, which I show you guys the strategy in which I use to take in my trade calls, okay, live, okay, a 1 hour to a 2 hour free live session on the Telegram community, so you can join if you are not. So this was a nice sales in which I called during Thursday free live session, and a lot of people also made money from this. Okay, so if you did not join, you actually missed it, but you also have the opportunity to join the next one, which you can join our free Telegram community. Okay, so moving forward, we have our zones here in which they are already marked out looking left, okay, which is our area of interest. So what do we want to see price do? All what we need to do is wait for price to come back to the 1.179, and we can take a bullish continuations from there, okay, back to the 1.197 to the upside, or we could see price go as deep as the 1.1741, then we can go all the way to the upside. Okay, so all what we should be expecting for the coming weeks is more like a sell to buy scenario. So do well to mark out these zones on your phone or your trading device. Up next is GBPUSD. So for GBPUSD, same thing with EURUSD, has been super bearish for the whole of last week, although we have been having some massive bullishness on GBPUSD. Okay, GBPUSD has also been bullish for the longest, creating series of highs and lows. Let me plot this trend line. Okay, let's plot the trend line there. Okay, this makes sense. Okay, so we have a nice trend line right about there. So what do we need to see price do for the coming weeks? Okay, so GBPUSD looks like a very good one for us for next week. I'm going to extend this like so. So all what I need to see price do is pull back to this minor level of interest. There's something I call my LTF, okay, my LTF zone, my minor zones, which is a nice sniper entry, and we could trail our sales all the way to the downside. Okay, don't mind these other zones in which I'm writing. Okay, we are looking for price to give us sell to buy scenarios. Okay, so we may have more sales on price, and when price comes to this green area or this yellow area, we can now buy price from here, okay, back to the upside. So what we should be having next week is more like a sell to buy scenarios. Okay, so that's it for GBPUSD. Up next is USDJPY. So for USDJPY clean chart, price has been super bearish, and the last previous week has been bullish, which is more like a pullback. But let's see how the monthly time frame actually closed. Okay, you know, I like looking at the previous month's candle, is very important. We can see the previous month's candle closing with this doji candle on a resistance area right about there is a very strong confirmation. So let's look at the weekly time frame too. Nothing much. The previous week is giving us this candle week rejections. Could that be a cause for concern? That we don't know. Okay, so let's go to the daily time frame, in which we are going to use this to our trading advantage. Okay, so what do we need to see on the daily time frame? Okay, we can see that the last few days of last week price has been bullish. So all what we need to do for price is we should be patient enough. Price is already here. Price could be as funny as dropping all the way from here to the downside, but I don't really see that happening. Okay, I don't really see that happening. So I'm going to mark out a new zone. All right, so I'm going to bring this down a little bit. All right, so we are going to work with this other zone like so. Right, so good. So all what we need to see is price to give us a buy to sell scenario. So we are looking forward for price to be bullish or to buy to the 155.73 and bearish continuations to the downsides. Okay, so that's it for USDJPY, and that's it for this week, guys. If you have watched this video to this very moment, please do well to smash that subscribe button, like, share, and drop a comment in the comment section. And once again, happy new month, guys, and always remember to plan your trades and trade your plan. See you guys in the inner circle. Cheers.